Hey everybody, welcome back to Blitz the Books. How you going, Mike?
What's happening, brother? CFP semifinals, and then there were four. Holy smoke, man. We have only three college football games left in the season. I can't believe it. But you know what that means, though, Wade? Baseball's right around the corner, my friend. I'm already looking forward to it. But purpose of this show, I guess we're going to discuss these final four matchups here.
Hey, if you look behind me over to my left shoulder here, I've got the "You're Killing Me" smalls. So I'm just I'm waiting for baseball, man. I can't be more excited. Baseball is around the corner, but it is bittersweet with college football ending. We've had a good run this season. I know for me at least, regular season ended up pretty nice. The bowl season's been up and down as probably expected with pretty hard to handicap those games, man. But these are the best games right now, and obviously we're both from the Midwest, so we've got what pretty much three teams from right around the Midwest area in this thing. So they're representing pretty hard here.
Yeah, that's big time, man. Can't wait. These are four blue blood programs, so this is going to make a lot of high ratings for the TV networks, which is what they're counting on. You know, blue bloods always drive ratings, especially when you got Notre Dame, Penn State, two very storied programs. Also, the same thing with Ohio State and Texas tomorrow night. So yeah, it should be off the hook as far as ratings go. It's so funny. Everybody wants the little guys to have a chance, the non-power four schools, but TV people do not want them in, the semifinals at all, or finals for that matter. And it's just funny, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I did not look into this, but my dad mentioned to me, I don't know, it was like a week ago or something, that he heard the Ivy League schools were trying to put their name in the hat. Those kind of schools wanted to be in this thing. There's no way the playoff committee would let those kind of schools be in this. They just have there's no reason to do that. Come
No,
on.
well, it would be just,
I
we
mean, honestly, I don't even want to really see. I hate to say it, but I don't even want to see the MAC schools playing this. They're not going to make it. None
no,
of them
we
would.
saw, and it's no disrespect to boy, it's no disrespect to SMU, kind of like we talked about on the last podcast, but we saw what happens when you take those caliber teams. They're not bad football teams, but those weren't playoff teams. Those were not playoff teams, and we saw them get blown out of the building. But hey, they deserved a shot. They both had good seasons, but I don't know. I'm interested to see where things will be going forward if they'll put more, bigger programs with three or four losses in instead of, giving teams that really just don't play a tough schedule at all, giving them, a slot, in the playoffs. Don't really know what the answer is, but
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I don't know. I go back and forth. It's like I don't. I've heard people talk about the 16 team playoff. I don't. I wouldn't mind if we had a few more teams and just made it even. Nobody had a bye. But I also like giving teams a bye. Then they've just got to figure out how to give the right teams the bye. So I don't know. It's either just add 16 teams and make everybody play the first round game. You're gonna still have blowouts in the first round at that point because one seed versus 16 or whatever is not gonna be a good game. I just don't know what the answer is. Maybe they dwindle it down and they don't do 12. Maybe they do 8 or something. I
yeah,
don't know. They do need to change something. They definitely need to change the way they seed the teams. I think everybody agrees with that. So
hands
without further
down.
ado, we're gonna jump into the first game, which is tonight. We've got number 7 Notre Dame taking on number 6 Penn State tonight at 7:30 p.m. We've got a currently -1.5 spread for Notre Dame, a -120 money line for Notre Dame, and the total is sitting at 45.5. Those lines you can get over at ESPN right now, so make sure you line shop because you might be able to find better lines somewhere else. Um, Notre Dame comes in 13-1. Penn State is 13-2. Penn State comes in with a better strength of schedule. It's number 33 ranked strength of schedule, with Notre Dame is sitting at 54, according to Sagarin. The efficiencies, I guess, at this point in the playoffs, all four teams are pretty efficient at all things, offense and defense. Notre Dame sits at number 14 offensive efficiency, but the number 1 defensive efficient rating after, I guess, last games against Georgia pushed them over number 1. I believe Texas was number 1 coming into last week, so those two teams have swapped. Penn State, maybe the most balanced other than Ohio State. They're 8 on offense and 6 on defense. Um, Big game here, Mike.
Yeah,
What do you think?
dude, should be a great, great game. I think the odds makers did their job, lining this under a field
Yeah.
goal for sure. These teams are
Yep.
just so evenly matched, man. I've questioned Notre Dame's strength of schedule all season long, but we saw them pound a pretty good Georgia team. Yeah, Georgia had their backup QB, so take that with a grain of salt. But man, this is just one of those ones where if I had to play a side, I really don't know what I'd do, to be honest with you. So I just passed as far as the side's concerned. Just two really, really solid football teams. Both run the ball really, really well, and both defenses stop the run really, really well. So where do you look for an edge? It's kind of tough. I love Notre Dame's running game. But I think Penn State maybe has a little bit better passing game, better athletes on the outside that can attack, down the field, more of the go patterns, the post patterns, that kind of thing. So yeah, I passed on both the side and the total. As far as what I did bet, I did take a player prop I'm quite fond of. Our buddy Riley Leonard under 166 and a half passing yards. You can get that minus 115. I think still over at Hard Rock, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I love, Riley Leonard for his guts and his running ability. He is an absolute dog. Like, and he's not a big guy. Doesn't mind taking punishment. He'll run the dadgum ball 20 times a game if he has to. But it's funny, Marcus Freeman's been pretty conservative. He typically only lets Leonard throw the ball around, 22 to 27 times a game. Notre Dame actually averages just 27.3 passes per game. That's only 101st in the country as far as, pass play volume. It's one reason I really like the under. His median's 163, so just a slight bit of value there in the under as far as the median's concerned. But I have to adjust that down mainly because this Penn State pass defense pretty freaking solid, man. You check their metrics on that. Nittany Lions like 21st in the country in yards per pass allowed. Got a very solid secondary. The Irish, like I said, they're just built more to run the football with Riley Leonard, Jeremiah Love, also the backup running back. Price looked really good against Georgia. I think we'll see a lot of him in the game here. So overall, I think this line's about 20 yards too high for Leonard. He'll have a decent game through the air, but we saw against Georgia what he passed for only like 90 yards, I think. More reasons to like the under if you need them. He stayed under this number of passing yards in 8 of his 14 games so far this year. He's also stayed under in 3 of his last 4, so current form definitely on our side for Leonard. That's what I played, my man. You got any thoughts on it before giving us your best bet for this game? Orange Bowl should be a good one. Can't wait.
Yeah, that one's a tough one. Um, I saw you give that one out. I don't know, man. I'm torn on that one only because as we talked about pregame or pre-recording, I think it's a big bummer that Jeremiah Love is
Hmm.
really hurt. I know his backup's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, I just think Penn State's really gonna focus on shutting down Notre Dame's run because that's pretty much how they destroyed most teams this season.
Yeah.
Um, and I just think Riley could potentially have a game where he has to pass and potentially they may 166 is just such a low number.
Yeah.
I don't
It is.
know. It's it's a scary under to be on. If I were to make that bet, I think I would be on the under. That's definitely the side to take. Um it's a tricky one because
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame's gonna have to pass to win.
Yeah.
So
And you could be right. I
if
mean,
they
they made
find success
force.
passing, they'll probably win. If
Yeah.
not, they might lose.
Yeah. There you go. Very good point. It's
So I think if I were going to take a side on a prop, that would probably be one of my top props in this game, um, for sure. For a side, I definitely am going to be on a side here.
nice.
I can't say it's a strong go hammer this spot side or anything.
Mhm.
Um, I like Notre Dame over Georgia, um,
Yeah, it was a good call. Yeah.
and I just
Special
think
team.
that for a smaller play. I think they could win this. Notre Dame's covered the spread in 10 games in a row, and I do that. I do think that matters. Um, and they play a Penn State team that really hasn't played their best on the road. And I know when you look at the college football, they've obviously played really well. Um, but I just think over the body of their work over the year where they struggled was on the road, and this is in on the road in the biggest moment. Um, We saw Notre Dame did not play their best offensive game, and the rest of their squad was able to come up with the win with the defense and with the special teams.
Mhm.
Um, I expect their defense to be there, and I expect their special teams to be there. I think their special teams can win this, and I think their defense can be the better side. So, if you're going to tell me that Notre Dame has the advantage in on defense, though it may not be that much, I do like their advantage on the special teams, though that's really hard to handicap into games. Um, I think that special teams could be a difference of 3 points, depending on field position they give them. And when I say special teams, I'm not specifically talking about Notre Dame's kicker. I'm just meaning
Mhm.
kick
Well,
return teams.
he
And
looked great against Georgia, though. I think he's
he
finally
did, but
healthy.
at
Yeah, I
least
think he's
kick
healthy.
return teams and things like that, because I know Notre Dame struggled kicking the ball this year. And I just think if they won the game last game against Georgia with an offense that couldn't really produce much, if they can find it tonight, I think they can win this game. Something like a 23-20 game. I think it's going to be within the 3 points, definitely within 7.
Mhm.
Um, I think if obviously the line's at 1.5. I think this is a perfect teaser game. You can definitely tease
Yeah.
this up to 7.5 right now, and I
Yeah, we
don't
don't
think you're
see
going to be
that.
wrong on
We
that
don't
side.
say that about college football ever, but with this low of a total, and the expected
Yeah,
low scoring, I can definitely see it being a teaser
I don't
late.
think either
I'm
team's
gonna
going to
look
lose by
comparatively.
7. Yeah, yeah. No, I really don't think either team's gonna lose by 7. So I think that would be it would be a good spot if you could find something else to put with it. I don't know
Mhm.
what those odds would be if you were to tease that up. I don't know if it would be up in the minus 300s. I'm assuming it would be.
Oh, you mean
Could
playing
probably
it?
pair that with Ohio State money line and maybe get some okay value, but probably
Yeah,
not
there you
though.
go.
So
It's not a bad idea.
yeah, I like that. We've got a nice little player prop, a nice side, and we're gonna jump right into the mid show promo. We're gonna give you a
Let's
word from
go.
our sponsor here, everybody.
Yeah, here we go.
Hey, sports fans, are you looking for free daily sports betting picks and the hottest promo codes for sports books in your state? Check out eatwatchbet.com, bettersinsider.com, and hellorookie.com, your ultimate one-stop shop for winning sports picks and unbeatable deals. Dive into daily articles packed with expert predictions and tips to help you make smarter bets. Plus, we've got links with exclusive promo codes for every major sports book in your state. Why miss out on free money? Don't wait. Visit eatwatchbet.com, bettersinsider.com, and hellorookie.com now and take your sports betting game to the next level. Hit the links in the description, claim your promos, and start betting smarter today. Like, comment, and subscribe for more expert advice and insider tips every week.
I like it, dude. Man, I think you might have a career in radio voiceover there, man. You nailed that. We appreciate that. Everybody in the company appreciates it too. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, man, you got anything to say about the website and articles before we jump to the
Yeah,
next game?
man, as usual, just another packed week. I think we're going to have either 80 or close to 80 pieces of content out there available, spread across all three sites. I mean, just a ton going on. Obviously, a great time to be a sports fan, sports better. But yeah, all three websites, like you just mentioned, eatwatchbet.com, hellrookie.com, and bettersinsider.com, the third one there. But yeah, ton of content each day. We try to do, ton of articles, videos, and there's some good promos going on out there right now, man. Both DraftKings and FanDuel are doing a bet five, get 200 sign up
Wow.
promo. So yeah, if y'all can help us out, if you don't have an account, it's for new customers only. So if you don't have an account, either one of those, we'd appreciate a sign up from any of the three of our websites. How we keep the lights on, how we keep our people paid. So we appreciate it. But yeah, check us out. We'd love to help. Tons of free picks. Wade's writing on there almost daily for us now, gave us some nice golf wisdom to kick off our Thursday. So I'm excited for that tournament to start. The Sony Open going on in fabulous Hawaii. Woo!
2 hours. Well, I guess they're in Hawaii, so it won't be 2 hours from now. But
Would love to be in Hawaii right about
oh
now. It's
man,
cold where we're at.
yeah, I appreciate you letting everybody know. The man that five deposit $5 get $200 back to play
Yeah.
with is no joke. Don't miss that. That's the way you can build your bankrolls, everybody. So appreciate that information. Let's jump into the second game here. We've got number 8 Ohio State taking on number 5 Texas. That will be tomorrow, Friday at 7:30 p.m. Right now, current lines are minus 5.5 for Ohio State, minus 225 money line Ohio State, and the total is sitting at 53.5. Both teams are coming in with 2 losses on the season. Ohio State's 12-2. Texas is 13-2. Texas gets the strength of schedule advantage, sitting at number 16 with Ohio State's number 25. Ohio State's definitely the most well-rounded team left in this tournament. They are the number 2 offensive efficient team and the number 3 defensive efficient team. Texas comes in at number 11 on the offensive side and number 2 on defense. Mike, I'm a diehard Longhorns fan, but I'm not feeling good about it. What do you think?
Man, oh man, this is yeah, it's crazy. I never thought I'd say this, and Buckeyes fans will hate me. I might have said it on the last pod. If I did, forgive me. But that loss to Michigan might end up being the biggest blessing in disguise for this Ohio State team. I think it just really made them rally together. You had all the hate speech coming out about wanting to fire Ryan Day. I think it just really galvanized them as a group, man, both on offense and defense. They look like an NFL football team right now. So it's just weird. As far as my number goes, I haven't bet the side. I doubt I will. I think it's too high. If you go by season long metrics, I think this should be probably Ohio State -3, maybe -3.5. So I think they've definitely made an adjustment just for their insanely good current form. I think there's a little value on Texas. I could see Ohio State winning, but not covering. So if I had to play a side, I'd go with the Horns. I think they're just being discounted a little bit. But man, can we really trust them? They're kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, man. We saw them against Arizona State. They have a great half of football in the first half.
Yep.
Looked like they're just going to cruise. They let them back in it and then need double overtime to pull it out in the end. Kind of did a similar thing against Clemson, by the way. They let Clemson get within 7 in the final minutes. Needed a nice little front door touchdown long run from Jadon Blue, I believe it was, to cover that number against Clemson. So Horns are just kind of weird. They're definitely inconsistent. They got a ton of talent, though. They can hang with Ohio State if they can get, a turnover or two. And I don't know. I do like the fact that it's been in Arlington, basically a home game for the Longhorns. Got to at least give them, I think, a point in their favor for somewhat home field advantage, even though it ain't on campus. But the play I went with, since I passed on the side, I'm going to go with Quintravian Wisner under 61.5 rushing yards. You can pick that up -115 over BetMGM right now, mainly just because how insanely good this Ohio State D line's been playing. We saw them absolutely just slam the door shut on a really good Oregon rushing offense. I think they can do the same here against the Horns, man. I mean, they hadn't really been gashed by anybody all year long. Ohio State ranked second in yards per rush allowed this season. Only give up 2.7 yards per carry. I like Trey Weiser. I think he's a talented back.
Yeah.
But man, I could see Texas falling in a hole early and having to pretty much abandon the run, putting it all on Quinn Ewers and his arm. You look at Wisner's median, it's just 55.5 this season. So definitely a touch of value there as far as the median's concerned. But that's got to be adjusted down some, you would think. We saw Georgia hold Wisner to just 52 and 51 yards, respectively, in their two meetings. And the Dogs ranked just 35th against the run. So, my goodness, what's he going to do against a team that ranks second against the run? You got to think that. Wisner stayed under this line 8 of his 14 games this season, stayed under in 2 of his last 3. And his median yards per carry, this is kind of crazy. Median yards per carry, just 4.1 yards per carry. It's kind of surprising for a back with all that speed. I also think Blue's going to get his share of work as well, so that helps our case for the under. Quite fond of this one. I like this one better than the Riley Leonard under. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I hate to give out 2 unders. It kind of ruins the excitement of the game. We're cheering for unders here, but
Yeah, man, what are you
gotta
doing?
go gotta go where the value is, though, man. But yeah, that's where I'm at, man.
No,
I mean,
I
curious to hear your thoughts as a long time, lifelong Longhorns fan. What is your assessment? You know this team like the back of your hand, so really curious on what you think about the side here, Wade.
yeah, I think there's gonna be too much rotational time with Blue. I also think that Ewers is going to be put in a position where they're going to need to pass more than run.
Mm,
Um, I know Sarkeesian. I know he's going to still try to run the ball even if they're down 2 scores. You can't just pass the ball every play. You can't be that. Can't be that detectable, I guess, but I do expect Ewers to pass the ball quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes over 30 pass attempts this game. I know Texas can make big runs on the ground, so I know they're going to try to get behind that offensive line. I just don't think they're going to have a lot of success in that area. So I think that's probably one of the smarter looks in this game for sure. I love that play.
Thanks, man.
Um,
Appreciate it. Makes me feel better about it.
yeah, I'm trying to think of what overs I would really take in this game on the Texas side.
Mm.
I don't really
Maybe
have too
Golden.
many. I
I
really
like
don't.
Gold.
I think,
I like Golden. He's a good receiver. I think he could do something.
yeah, I was gonna say I think one of their receivers could probably go over their line, find 70, 80 yards.
Hmm.
That's it. I think there's gonna be. As you can tell, I'm not really big on the Texas in this spot.
Yeah, and that says something as a
This
Texas
is
fan.
this is gonna be a big hammer spot for me on Ohio State money line. I
Okay,
hate to do it.
good.
I
I like
typically
it.
don't even play money lines that are over 200, but
Hmm.
if you're $100 better and you put at least $300 out on this game, you're gonna make get back at least some. I'm definitely gonna be putting more than 3% on this play.
Got you.
I would never go over 5% on a play. So if anybody wanted to, I think this is fine for a 5% spot, 4% spot, 3% spot. I think Ohio State's gonna win this game.
Got you.
By margin, I'm not sure. The line opened up at 6.5. I definitely thought about taking 6.5 for Ohio State. So if that, I'm very convinced Ohio State's going to handle this game. I don't trust Arkeesian in big spots. I don't trust Ewers. I trust Howard a lot more. If you look at the quarterbacks, all four quarterbacks, statistics comparatively, he's got better numbers than everybody. He's
Yeah.
got more passing yards. Can't remember what else. I'm not sure about the. He might even have more touchdowns. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I know Aller's right up there too, but
Yeah.
um, either way, collectively, he's got the best quarterback numbers. I think he's got the best group of wide receivers to throw to. Jeremiah Smith has quietly become my favorite player in college football. I wish he wasn't a freshman. I wish the Vikings could go down and grab him now and pair him with Jefferson and trade Addison because I would take that in a heartbeat. Um, he's special. I'm not an Ohio State fan at all, but watching that kid, he's definitely one of the best players in college. I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes top 5 for Heisman next year. Um, and I'm not even joking. I think he's that legit. If they can find a quarterback to come in next year and feed him the ball, because he is a true freshman, right? He has to come back next
Yep.
year.
Yep.
If
Absolutely.
they can
Yeah.
get a good quarterback to come in there and pass him the ball, there's no reason why he won't be a top 5 selection in the Heisman. He may not make the Heisman, but I think he'll be top 10 for sure. I think he can squeak in the top 5 next year. He's that legit. Throw him the ball, he's gonna catch it. Um, my worries in this game was Texas thought second half, but the more I think about it, I may think they may be in trouble in the first half. And if they get in trouble in the first half,
Mm.
their issues have been in the second half, letting teams get back in games. So
True.
all of a sudden, we're
Very
going to turn
true.
around and trust Texas to find a way to come back in the second half of a game if they're down. I just don't know if I trust that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you, dude.
I don't know. It's you can break down all the stats, all the rushing and passing defensive numbers both teams have. Both this is a very good defensive game, but also you have really good offensive players on both sides of the ball. So this is one of those games where you could easily see 60 points, or we could see 20, and it could be I don't know 17-7 game Ohio State.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nothing would surprise me.
I think we will score more points in this game, but both defenses are just so elite. We may see a snoozer in that game.
It's possible, man. Well, the thing that sticks out to me, and this is why I haven't, I wanted Texas to get to 7, and I was probably going to take the +7, and
I
Texas
agree with
was
that.
a key number, but yeah, I doubt it gets there. If it does, I'll take it, but I doubt it gets there. But the thing that's keeping me from doing it, though, Big Wade, is this Buckeyes D line. I go back to D line and their linebackers. They rank first in the country in sack rate, right? And Texas has struggled to protect yours, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Texas' sack rate allowed, they're 68th in the country, not that great. So, my goodness, they better call a lot of screen passes
No, I was
before
just
the
getting
ball
ready to
out.
say no, no. I was just getting ready to interrupt you and say if what they're going to do is Sarkeesian's going to call a bunch of screen short passes and they're going to get blown up at the line of scrimmage and they're going to go for negative yards. I think that's a very bad game plan. I don't know what the game plan is. They need to get quick screens. They need to get They just have there's really no tricking Ohio State.
Oh,
What has to happen is the offensive line has to hit the defensive line, put a hat on a hat, and
yep.
open up some space for the running backs to make some plays. Because if they can find success running the ball, Ohio State's definitely going to be pressuring up in the box.
Mhm.
That's when I trust Ewers and Sarkisian to find some explosive plays. But if they can't find any success running the ball, they're not going to find any explosive plays because Ohio State's cornerbacks and safeties are just going to sit back and they're not going to be pressured. I just feel like the game script is going to allow Ohio State's defensive coordinator to depict when they're going to pressure and when they're not. And they're not going to have to pressure if Texas can't open up holes. So then they're just going to
Yeah,
be able to back off and sit back. So
true.
it's like this is really going to be a tough game for Texas. Their offensive line is the key. If their
Yep.
offensive line plays well, Texas plays well and they stay in this game. If they don't, this game's over. And that's how I feel about it. It's all is in the trenches in this game. And it
Yeah,
all depends on Texas offensive line.
definitely. Yeah, that's
So
the key. For me as well. I would agree. Just how they can slow down these pass rushers. And it's
Ohio State has the advantage on both sides of the ball.
mhm.
So it's this is gonna depend. This is all up to how Texas handles
Yep.
Ohio State. They have to
Yeah.
score on offense. If they can't
Yep.
score on offense, I think Ohio State eventually will put up points. I do think that both kickers. I haven't taken any props in this game because I've kind of gotten off props in college football this last year, but um, I think props that I would definitely target in this game would be kickers. If you can get kickers like over 1.5 field goals, or
Hmm.
I know obviously NFL you can. I haven't really looked into that for the college space, but if you could get the kickers in this game, I definitely think both kickers are getting 2 field goals in this game.
Yeah, I can see that just because both red zone defense has been really good. Texas actually leads the country in red zone
I think
defense.
this game's gonna be played
Ohio
between the
State second.
20s.
So you have the
Yeah,
top
yeah,
two teams in red zone defense going head to head. Could definitely see, and it's crazy from a yards per play perspective. Ohio State leads the country in yards per play allowed. Texas is second. So you really good defenses in this game. Kind of surprised the total is 53. I guess it's
yeah,
just because of all the big playmakers on both sides of the ball. And it being, obviously Jerry World inside, fast track. Maybe that's it. But man, the total to me does look a touch high. I won't bet it, but yeah, it does look a touch high in my book just
yeah. I
because.
do. I think these teams are gonna be playing between the 20s. I think they're each gonna reach into the 30s 4 or 5 times, where they'll be able to get some opportunities for some field goals. I think they'll definitely get stopped in the red zone a couple times. Um, that's where the tricky part comes, Mike. A lot of these games before we get off here is either both NFL and college recently, man. We've had a lot of coaches that just for whatever reason they have to go for it on fourth down when they're daring. And if you just I
Dan
swear,
Campbell.
I've like it's almost like it's taking crazy pills, but at least the last 10 games that I have watched myself, anytime these coaches take that early fourth down and go for it and don't get it, and they even do it twice and early on in the game and they don't get
Yep.
either one.
Yep.
Later in the game, they're only within a 3 or 6 point game or a 7 point game or a
Um,
10 point game where those 3 or 6 points matter so much.
You're
And
right.
it's been happening a ton in the NFL, and it's been frustrating me so much because some of these teams, I mean, I can go back to like the Packers and Vikings game where if they had just gone for the 3 points at the beginning of the game, they came back and that touchdown they scored to get it within two, they would have won the game over the Vikings. Like,
Yep.
and I'm sitting
Yep.
here complaining about a team not beating my team, but like it just happens so often. I don't know how many times we have to see these coaches go for it on fourth down and they don't get it. Just take the 3 points. You know how hard it is to score in football? I understand the analytics, but I think the analytics are crap. I really do on that. Take points. It's like,
I'm
oh
with you,
well, it's
man.
like, oh well, you're gonna pin them down at the like 5 yard line. Okay, and one play gets them right back at the 20 where they were if you would have just scored the points and kicked it to them in the first place. If your defense is that good, you shouldn't worry about we get him at the 3 yard line. Just kick it and put him at the 20 and stop him. I could go on for this for days. Take the points. We're gonna probably change the name of the show to Take the Points because the entire last few weeks has been killing me on these
Yeah,
coaches going for it on fourth
I
down.
can
I think I've
tell.
seen like one make it. They all miss.
So Wade's turning into Clint Eastwood on Gran Torino. Get off my lawn. He's the get off my lawn guy now.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you though, dude. I'm with you. It's
I don't know
like
how many. I mean, this is probably stemming from me and the Vikings and the
especially
Lions game. But if the
especially
Vikings had
early.
not done that
Yes.
against the Lions,
Yes.
they may not
Especially
have been in that
early in the
position where
game.
they got blown out. It would have been a. They would have been up 12-10 at halftime.
You know, early
Like,
in the game, I'm like, just take the points, dude. You got so much of the game left. I'm with you. Maybe we're just old school in our thinking, but it's like who you.
no.
I don't trust. I don't trust a math guy when it comes to like a football game. The game's not won with math. It's won on the freaking field. I mean, it's
You get 3 tries, you get a first down,
well,
buddy. If you
the
can't get it, we're taking
analytics
the 3
says
points.
this, and the analytics says that. It's like okay, well, but analytics don't factor in like the actual matchups on the field. They don't actually factor in, like momentum, motivation, all those things that can't be quantified.
How does a team feel when they fail the 4th down conversion?
Oh,
Rather,
exactly,
or how would they feel if
exactly,
they know, "Hey, we got 3 points.
exactly.
Let's go back and let's get some
Yep,
more." Like, it's
yep,
how did they not think about this? I would love to be in some of these rooms where I could, like, argue with some of these guys because maybe they have good points, but I need to know them. I need to hear them before I can change my opinion on this because I haven't seen it work out.
yeah,
I just haven't. Because the thing is, it's all about momentum, and if you can keep the game close, it keeps your team more motivated and in it that they can get it at the end of the game. If you continue to give away points and all of a sudden it's a 10, 12, 14 point game, there's no way they're not feeling some sort of way.
yeah. That's what I say. If the game is close, it's like why push your luck? Why not just stay in the game?
Well, I heard the
Take
announcer
the
on at least on
take
the
the point.
Vikings game, he was like, "Oh, well, I guess the Vikings feel like they got to trade touchdowns for touchdowns with
Yeah,
the Lions." It's like,
I
why? You
think
have
they.
one of the better defenses too.
Yeah,
I understand their passing defense is suspect, but the Vikings defense is very good.
I
You
think
don't think they can
O'Connell.
stop anybody? It's almost like they're going for it on 4th down because they don't trust their defense at
Yeah,
all.
I think O'Connell panicked honestly in that game. I think he panicked and just thought he had to have a touchdown every time you're in the red zone. It's
Not to
like
talk
you.
about NFL, but like I
Yeah.
mean, that's the biggest. That's the last instance that we have of some of the team going forward on 4th down and failing
Mhm.
numerous times. They
Oh
did it twice.
yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it. The times where if it's 4th and 1 on the 40 and you don't want to kick a 57-yard field goal, I get it. But these
Yeah,
guys are going for it on
yeah,
4th and 3,
yeah.
4th and 5. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like
Yes,
it ain't
that's
like
the
the
perfect.
Eagles with the tush push where it's a high percentage play, 99% chance you're going to get it with the tush push. They're wanting to throw a little screen pass and hope it works out, or just try to run a normal, handoff up the middle and acting like it's gonna work out. So it's funny. Wait on the soapbox today. I like this. This has started off the morning great
I'm
today.
sitting here trying to think about what was the game that we watched where they went for it numerous times and they just kept running it and they just kept getting stopped. Ah, yeah, I'm just
Hey,
gonna get off this now because it's crazy. But let's jump into the rundown here,
here
everybody.
we go.
We'll go through the picks real quick. We got Mike's picks. He's giving out Riley Leonard under 166 and a half passing yards for Notre Dame. Friday, he's got Quinton Weisner under 61 and a half rushing yards.
Let's
Both of
go.
those have some pretty good odds right now, so go ahead and jump on those. I'm going with Notre Dame money line. I believe that's minus 120 is probably the best line you can get for
Yeah,
that right now. And then Ohio State money line minus 225 with a multiple unit lay there to at least win back 1 unit at the least. So
nice.
feeling very confident in these picks. I actually feel like we have a good chance of sweeping here.
Let's go
Um,
4-0, baby. 4-0 way.
definitely my Notre Dame picks probably the one of these four that's definitely the most suspect because
Nice.
Penn State's got some good players, man. They got some really good
Yeah, they
players.
do. That's a tough one to call. I think we did. Hey, we did well last round. What we end up going? I think 6-2 with our picks. We both went
I
3-1. If they would have threw out because we disagreed on Notre Dame and Georgia, if they would have not played that, I think they would have went what 5-1 with us
Yeah,
last
you
round,
missed
something like
The Ohio State one, and I did the Penn State game over 52, which it would have hit, and I know a lot of people were on that too. Boise State had a touchdown called back where
that.
they
Yep.
man they could have held that penalty. That they had that ball. Quarterback had the ball out of his hand before the offensive line even committed that penalty. If you rerun that back, or if anything, it was like a tie. Come on, eat the flag. In that game, they were calling so many flags, and then Boise State either missed it. They missed 2 field goals in that game,
Yep.
so that's 13 points right there. I mean,
Yep.
any part of that goes our way, that game cashes. So yeah, I felt really good about last week's show. Um,
That was solid.
was fantastic. So yeah, I appreciate everybody joining us for the show. 2 picks. I do 2 games, 4 picks. Hope you guys can have some luck cashing your tickets. I know this is going to be a tricky couple of games, but wish you guys the best of luck. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Yeah, y'all be good. Sign up for Wade's Discord. It's been on fire all year, dude. He's won. This is insane what he's won, guys. He's won 22 out of the last 24 months. Jump on it. Y'all be good.
Appreciate you.
Later.